ain't keeping this.
Damn, am I gonna outline?
Blasted it.
We're talking about practice, man.
Everybody, welcome back to the Now What podcast. It's me again. I appreciate you tuning in. And I have a special guest in the building. My man, Bryan Blue.
Yeah.
So if you don't know Bryan Blue, he is an artist. He's a painter. Have you ever done a podcast before, man?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's an artist. He's a painter, photographer, and he's my current favorite living artist. When did I find you? I found you like in 2013, 14, and it was just Instagram. I DM'd you.
Instagram, yep.
And at the time, you had, how many followers did you have? It was real low.
Maybe like 11.
11 followers?
No, like 11,000.
11,000
like
followers?
8,000, something like that.
I thought it was like 2. But
it was a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was low. And then now you blowing up, and you have, like, this is what you do for a living now. Like, you're a painter, which is insane to me because it's freelance and it's kind of just like from job to job. But you have such a unique style that I think people are finally falling in love. The shit that I fell in love with when I first saw it. And throughout the podcast, for people watching on YouTube, we're going to periodically put pictures of his art up because it's important for people to see. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm really good. You know? Appreciate the super intro. Yeah, I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm feeling good about the work. I'm working on a lot of stuff. Got a lot of projects coming up. Yeah, I'm working.
No, you are, man. And I think it's I see a lot of artists like on Instagram and just the internet in general, and to me it looks like they're struggling artists, right? And I mean, it's a tough market to break into. How have you been able to pay bills with what you paint?
Man,
like, that's insane to me.
Yeah, in reality, like sometimes looking at my little short career I've had in art, I wonder, like, why did I choose this out of everything I could be doing? It's a hard field. It's consistently hard to maintain the lifestyle,
right,
or just a life from strictly selling paintings.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm trying to get smarter, work smarter, not harder. Where it's like paintings, in my personal opinion, I feel like it'll always be hard to sell paintings. You know, you don't know when someone wants a painting, or
right,
when you make something that strikes a chord with the right person who can afford what you want to sell it at. But
right,
I think it's about consistently and you know, moving differently. So I make books, I make zines, you know.
Yeah, so I think that's part of your appeal is your marketing strategies, right?
Yeah.
You found an interesting and an enticing way to market your art. And if you go on his Instagram page, just the way you post pictures, the way you do your stories. Like, I think I had followed you on Snapchat, but I hate Snapchat now, so I don't have it anymore. But like your Instagram stories, they're interesting. Like you need to like do like a short video or something, and like have a YouTube channel. I enjoy watching the content that you put out. What is the driving force behind how you decided to market yourself? Because it's working.
Man, it's I've had such a crazy ride this entire time. But before it became cool to be an artist on Instagram, right, I was using social media to kind of like show, and it's like all the homies are on there. I was just connecting with people at first, and you know, just being a little creative with how I was doing it. But it's
a conscious effort.
It's No and yes.
Right.
So at the beginning it wasn't. It was just like, okay, I'm gonna put this out. I'm painting these shoes. That's how I started. I was painting shoes and stuff. Painting these shoes. Let me show people how it's done. Okay, let me try to do a time lapse. And I figured out how to do a time lapse. And I was always using like video to our photography to like show my process like better than other people or better like ways other artists weren't thinking. And this is before the boom when everyone's so conscious about selling themselves on social media. This is just like college. Facebook just started, you know.
Right.
But halfway after college, I was doing a struggling artist thing in Dallas. You know, just trying to stay alive. And I took this advertising internship, and it taught me. It's called the Marcus Graham Project. It's about like putting like diversifying the advertising field with people of color.
Right.
So
where was this?
In Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my mentors, his name's Lincoln. He kind of like put me on game, you know, just and I saw this small window of just like how these big brands are like, how a Nike is getting, you know, an idea off, or how they're promoting something with zero budget or with $1 billion budget, whatever.
Right.
So I was always making stuff with no budget and like thinking of better ways to do it for free or for nothing. Okay, I got a cheap camera. How can I make something that shows my art in a way that other people aren't?
No, you're doing it beautifully, man. As you start, like what? I'm gonna dig into the past a little bit. What got you first started into painting? Because I think that's important. I think art is always a reflection of culture, and it's a reflection of emotions, and it's your way of expressing yourself. So how did you start painting, and when did you realize like I want to do this?
Yeah. Earliest memories I have are making things. Like I remember the first like sculpture thing I made this ugly cheetah bear cat looking thing, and I was maybe in like the second grade, but I remember it like I remember when I was young and I was making art, like people like it would always be like a little not better, but it would be a little more refined than like people my age, you know?
Right.
But then there was always that one kid who was just like a wizard, you know, and he could just make like some Voltron shit or whatever. You're like, yo, man. But yeah, early memories of drawing, and I remember my mom encouraging me and my dad encouraging me when I was young, you know, just putting my stuff on the refrigerator, going to art class, trying to make something crazier. I would always be like the second best drawing dude in like my grade. Right. I'm telling you, there was always this like kid who could just draw like robots crazy.
That's an interesting dynamic. So as you're growing, because like I went to art class to me it was just like a period off, right? So it's just like I used to just fuck around, talk to the females, but you took it seriously and you went in there like, did you view it as like competition? Because I'm pretty sure you took PE as it's a period off.
No, I grew up playing sports.
Oh, you did that too?
Yeah.
Okay. But like I remember taking it really seriously, trying to beat everybody at everything. Yeah, because that was my bag. I played football. Like, so did you go to art class looking at that competitively?
A little bit. Like there was always a point where you have to show your finished work, whatever it was, if we're doing like still life or whatever. And I for sure always wouldn't mind to have a little flair. Oh, we know who made that. Right. So like it started like that, and then once I learned that like, yo, this is something that I can do that like maybe other people, I don't know if they can't do it or if they don't care to do it, but if I was in high school and the teacher was we're talking about whatever, mitosis or something, I'm taking notes, I'm listening, and then I'm also like, I'm doodling, I'm like making this like whole layout on my page. So it's just something that was kind of like just like a little hobby, and then like, you know, I know I can do it, cool. I didn't take it serious. I never really took it serious until like now. Like I was playing football, I grew up playing football, I went to college playing football, my brothers played football, my dad's a football coach, my dad went to the league. We were doing football.
Who was your dad?
His name's Anthony Blue, but he went to UNLV when Suge was there. Okay. And Larry Johnson.
Oh, word?
Yeah. So when, you know, basketball team was going spam.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up playing football, and art was just like my little bonus thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then when I got to college, I was doing all these shoes in high school. So I always made art, but I didn't take it like, in high school, I was doing custom Air Forces. Like I taught myself how to paint shoes. And I was doing it at a level where it's like I can make the shoes look like they came like that, you know. And then I could do characters, you know, goofy shit when you're you're in high school. I'm doing Ninja Turtle Air Forces and all that.
But that shit is cracking.
Yeah. So then I got hired at this boutique. It was called Big Mike's. It was in Duncanville, Dallas. And like Now I'm getting like $200 a shoe.
Wow.
I'm in high school. I'm like thinking I'm really doing it.
Oh no, that's
you know?
bread. That's bread in high school. That's bread.
Like, what am I spending money on high school? Nothing. So I went to college, was playing football, dropped out. After 2 years, I was, killing. And I was like, yo, I was over the politics. I was over like not being able to like do what I wanted to do.
Right,
if I didn't go to the league, I feel like I'd wasted my career like trying to do football when I was like, I had other goals and stuff and things I wanted to do. So yeah, I transferred and I started a clothing line, man. Like I've done so many things that like I'm 30 now and I feel like, yeah, I have 10 years experience in art and like, like making things and selling things and promoting myself. If
you look at any kind of success story, there's always like, because like from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, all of a sudden he has all these, high clientele. He's selling his paintings for this much amount of money, but then they don't ever see the backstory of, I've been painting shoes. I've been doing this for years and years and years, and now just now it's coming into fruition, and you're like, holy shit, I'm an artist. You know what I mean? Whereas before you were just kind of, this is what I love to do. When did you know like you fell in love as far as like, yo, I could do this shit? Because I always tell people, this is how you be happy in life. Whatever you're doing and you look up, it's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh shit, I haven't ate today. Like that's what you need to be doing. And I'm pretty sure you've had that moment plenty of times.
I feel like I developed an eating disorder, man. Because when I was poor, I was painting. We were painting, and now it's like, dang, man, it's 7:30. I guess I should go get some food. Like I was putting all these ideas down, but it's always been like that. Like I never wanted a job. I haven't had a job in like 6 years, and like I don't know. I'm just like, I feel like once you get to a point where you're making these people so much money, you're putting all these hours in, and then there's your cut. Yeah. You're like, man, I gross this much, like I'm making this much in sales, and it's like, yeah, you're just making other people money, and it's like, if you die tomorrow, are you happy? Are you happy being assistant manager at Journey's Kids? That's what I was doing.
Right. I think that's just some random thing you picked.
Yeah. So I'm like, nah, I'm gonna get back on my grind and just like see what it, roll the dice. Like, what if I make $1 billion? Then if you don't take the chance, you never know. So
how scary was that transition though?
It wasn't scary because I never had money. Like, like me and I got 2 brothers, a younger sister, and me and my brothers are really close in age, but we grew up. There was no allowance, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if you got a 20, off mom's, I got 20 on me.
I never got a 20, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, I never had money, and like, even after college, like, we were just like making it, just like, couch surfing hard, just like, cool. I got enough money to eat. I got enough money to maneuver, move around a little bit, but I never had money. So not having money for another year was cool.
It was what it was.
Yeah, I could figure it out. Like, and it's like, there was always signs, you always get, boom, I drop a shirt and I made 4 bands. Okay, I got 4 bands stretch for I don't know how long. And then you just like ride that and invest some of it into the next idea. But I never really had money. I never knew where it was coming from. So like, it
wasn't really a risk for you. It was more like I'd rather be happy and broke than not happy and making somebody else money.
I was mad happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy now, but like when I didn't have any bread, I was having a lot of fun and I was getting to do the things. Like, I don't mean I was just like walking around with no dollars, just
of course.
Content, but it's like at that age we were. I say we because like it was like a pack of us. It was like my brothers, like my older brother, and like some of the homies. We were like making major moves, meeting all the people we needed to meet, and just really had a street. We had impact in the street, like the homies. Like we go to Houston, we got homies in Houston because like I don't know, we built this like community.
Yeah, a little art community.
Yeah, and everybody was grinding. Like nobody had money, but we're at South by, and then boom, we finesse into this. And
but see, I think you kind of casually say these things, like you're just like, and we were just moving, like, dog, like if you look at it from the outsider's perspective, you strategically put yourself in a position to win. Like that's insane. To the point now where you have done paintings for Kendrick Lamar. He's the biggest rap artist in the world, and rap is the #1 genre in the world.
Yeah.
You've done paintings for him. You were in his video, his Humble video. We'll play that in the bottom of the corner too. I was like, because I didn't know you were gonna be in that.
Yeah.
I was watching it and it came out. I was like, is that my nigga Blue?
Man, I didn't know I was gonna be in it.
That's crazy. But you strategically aligned yourself with brands and branding. And it's because of how you branded yourself. So you with TDE, like you do a lot of work for TDE, Schoolboy Q, a lot. And that has branched off into maybe you doing a commission for Rihanna. Like that's insane. Like these are some of the biggest entertainers in the world. And that can change a career. And it has changed your career.
Yeah. It's really strange. Like every time, like, you know, I get to go to a lot of stuff and see all these people that I'm fans of, and then you like look up. I mean, you brought a painting from me. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, how does he even know me?
Yeah,
like,
talk about that. Talk about that story, because
I was literally, I don't know who hit me. Somebody hit me, and they're like, yo, I think the homie's gonna try to buy something from you, whatever. No, I think you just hit me on
it might have been just
Twitter,
yeah. It was
you
Twitter
hit me
DM
on
or
Twitter,
something.
and you're like, yo, what's your Insta? And I'm like, yo, this is insane. Like, you know, like, this is pretty tight. Like, cause I was making stuff and it was early. Like, I'd probably been doing paintings. Like, I've painted for a long time, but like, I moved to LA to make paintings and like try my hand at being a fine artist.
All right.
Like before that, I did a lot of graphic design stuff. I was just like learning what I wanted to do.
All right.
But I mean, I was in here, you know, a year cranking out stuff, getting better, and I mean committed. You know, because when I moved here, like, I had this, like, I feel like, you know, like, if you want to be a rapper, you got to have songs, you got to have albums, you got to have mixtape, you got to be, like, making stuff constantly. Mm-hmm. And, like, when I moved out here, I was, like, on the grind to get better as a painter. Like, I want to be able to just, you know, translate at least to, like, a 90% accuracy what I see in my head onto canvas, you know?
Wow.
So at the beginning, I mean, I was all right. All my stuff was kind of flat, you know, but I committed to painting and like, man, it grew. So like, yeah, now I'm like getting to like meet these people and I just had to act like it's normal. I worked with Diddy, maybe a year or two ago.
All right.
And like getting that call, like, yo, man, you know, you free today? And
you
like,
actually got a call from Diddy?
I got a call from a agent.
Okay.
And he's like, yo, you know, are you free today? Could you do storyboards? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I can do storyboards. What's it for? And he's like, I'll let you know later, whatever, if it's going down. He hits me later. It's like, yeah, Diddy needs some sort of storyboard for the Bad Boy 20th, whatever. It's like, yeah, I've never done storyboards, but you know, I'll give it a try. I went in there and it was incredible. I mean, it's like, yo, I'm like, how did I get here? Like, I'm constantly in these situations where I'm like, how did I get in this room?
Right.
You know, like,
that's insane.
Cool.
But that's what I love. That's what I love about you, bro. Like, you have such humility and like every opportunity that I see you have or that you talk about, you're just like, I'm just so grateful. And you're just like, that's awesome that this is happening.
Man, I just have like, for me, it's like, art is a hard thing, man. And there's so many things that goes into it where it's like, I got homies I know who paint way better than me.
Right.
Like, you know, who are like hyper realism, like killing shit, like even like on some surrealism, just different swag, you know. And they don't get the same shots I'm getting, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what do you think your appeal is?
I think I never cared to be a hermit artist, you know, like I'm a people person. I like people. I like going places. I like interacting with people. I like when people are in my studio, you know, I like talking to people while I'm painting. Like I'm outgoing.
Right.
And this image is like a lot, you know, because people can play it off for whatever they want.
No, it is.
It's a lot, you know, and how people perceive you and like, do they think you're just a cool person?
Right.
If people think you're a cool person, they will support you. I mean,
that's definitely why I support you. You're a fucking cool person, bro.
Like if you're just a jerk or not even that, it's just like, I mean, look at music. Image is a huge thing in everything.
Right.
Even the presidency, which is amazing. I don't even see how this happened, but like I thought like the image would be just too like, you know.
Right.
But yeah.
No, that's insane that you the humility that you have. I think it's one of your big draws as to why people flock to your art. But I think the thing that drew me in was that your style, right? So the thing that you've cultivated and mastered, and it's that mummy style. So the mummification of everything. Where did that come from? Like, how did that start? And like for the people listening and not watching, he has a style that if you go on his Instagram right now while you're listening to this, you can. This is 2018. Use your device, but it's at Blue the Great, right? At Blue the Great on Instagram, and you look through his style, and he mummifies everything, almost everything, a lot of his stuff, and I don't know what it is, but it's just super. It's just I fell in love with it. I asked you to do a pair of Chucks, which I still haven't wore.
Oh yeah.
I have like two or three paintings from you. I'm gonna buy some more. I love your style. So where did that come from? That mummification?
Man, I lived in Chicago for like 6 months with my ex. So I was out there, and I was just like, head down, just drawing a lot, trying to just develop something, like really just starting to use Instagram to show like a lot of my pieces. And I was trying all these things, and this is like when I wasn't doing paintings, like it's like right before I started doing paintings heavy. But like I'm doing all these drawings and trying these different concepts. I've always used clouds with my work since college. I've always like put like clouds in like this specific cloud. And like I watched this Basquiat movie, not the documentary, the movie, and the dude was talking about how do you get famous, blah blah blah. It was Benicio del Toro, and he was saying they're playing basketball. And he's like, yeah, first thing you got to do is you got to paint the same thing so people know what it is every time they see it. And I look back at all the painters, some of my painters, and they have that super signature something, from a Basquiat, from Keith Haring, Damien Hirst. They have that signature thing that they did, that maybe got them into the game before they grow. If you look at rap, everything, same thing.
Jordan,
fade
away, man.
Yeah, Jay-Z flow, it's like, okay, it's signature. Right. He got so many, but I tried the mummy thing one time, and it was like, and I just tried it on this picture of Beyonce too. I wish it was like a better story. Yeah, I did it on.
I mean, that's an awesome way to do it.
It was just like a fire photo of Beyonce, and I just tried it out. I'd never done it before, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And when I was done, I was analyzing and said, yo, this is the simplest way to make something complex with just lines. It's really just lines and shadows. It comes from something that is black, like in its origin, just like Egypt, and it's a way where I can like make things. It doesn't have to be a black person. It doesn't have to be a white person. It doesn't have to be a specific person. It could be just a person, Right. But I use it for a lot of different reasons differently. But I started that one, and I just like, oh, this is cool. I can build into this. Like I can like grow this.
So it's like an aha moment. Like this is
like this visually looks cool.
All right.
And I wanted to do something that no one was doing. Like I think that's a big problem with artists and. Everybody wants to be somebody else, and be known for sounding like this, sounding like someone else as opposed to like yourself. So it was something that I built from me, without like influence from a cause or from somebody else. It's like, yeah, this I think can be like my thing, and I can use it to like encompass other things, and just build it out and see where it goes. Like I'm looking at stuff from 2014. It's mad flat. It's like everything's kind of cartoony.
What do you mean by flat? Because I have no idea what that.
Flat meaning that there's no depth.
Okay.
Like it's like, or it's like a cartoon. It's like it looks like 2D. Mm-hmm. Now when I'm doing my flags, it looks like you can just put your arm in the painting,
right?
And it's cool because I've been able to develop it over the years to like get it to look like that. So
right.
I really use it for just to show the idea of. It's like a juxtaposition between are we preserving something or is this like a decaying idea?
Oh wow!
So with the flags, it's like the coolest thing, and I do the flags a lot because it's like a juxtaposition. Like some people think it's mad offensive, some people think, oh really? Man, this is fresh.
Have you got any blowback from
early? Right. Military dude hit me up like, oh, what's this mean? Like, man.
That's crazy though.
It makes me happy though.
Yeah, I mean,
that if you feel a way about something I painted, then cool. That's really cool. I'm not trying to paint like provocative pieces, but it's cool that you feel anything.
Right. You the flag he's talking about, he mummifies the American flag. And I don't know where I saw it on yours, but I was like, yo, send me a photocopy of that and I'm gonna get it tattooed. And I did. I got American flag mummified tattooed. And how does that feel knowing that your art is forever on somebody else's body?
No, it's tight. I'm telling you, it's like, that's why I feel like, I am humbled. Like, like I can't believe that like the shit's working out. Like, people go to school for this, and don't make it.
Right.
Spend all that money and don't make it. And, I've been doing it long enough to see people come and go. Like people who I thought were like, oh, this dude sucks, but he's getting all the looks.
Right.
And then now they're not here because the shit wasn't
right.
It doesn't withstand time. So
what do you think the goal of sustainability in this arena is?
That's a great question. I'm like, I consider myself, let's do this thing where I consider myself a real artist, where it's like, I was making stuff when I wasn't getting paid, making art. I'd be making art if I wasn't making any money for it.
Right.
But like, to me, the goal is it's just like sports. I got to get paid before people don't think, like, what happens when I'm not cool anymore?
Right.
What happens when there's the new Blue the Great dude and he's just new and fresh and whatever? It's like, you got to look at so many things in this. And I've worked with big brands and, and you try to never compromise your thing, but it's like, if Donald Trump says he wants a painting, this is an interesting, I had this conversation yesterday with this girl. If Donald Trump walked to me and said, yo, I like this painting you did, how much? Do I not sell him the painting?
Gotta sell him the painting.
I definitely sell him the painting.
No question.
Because you don't deny someone who's a fan of your work.
Of course not.
If he commissions me and he wants me to paint him on a stallion with a
Still
sword,
do it.
I don't know if I'm gonna do that.
Why
man.
not?
Just
Why
because
wouldn't
then
you?
I'm like gassing him. Then I'm like making something for him. It's like a collab.
But
do I want a collab? Do I want a Donald Trump feature on my album? I'm gonna vote no. But if he wants to cop a piece, then cool.
I think you have to, especially if it's Donald Trump. Just hypothetically, that would be great for your brand. Let's just say, please call me if that shit ever comes up. I'll gladly tell you tripping.
Well, but I think that's one thing where like a lot of artists, or even me, like, you get caught up in this idea of like, am I a sellout or am I gonna sell out? Is this a sellout move? Can I do this move? Like, what if they're coming with the bag? What if they're giving me?
Right.
What if they're like, yo, we're giving you 500 bands to do our logo, mummied out. This is oil company or something. I don't know, whatever.
Right,
like, do you do it? I don't know. I don't know if you to tell you what to do, but I know that for me, the goal is to like, I consider myself at this point, I guess people consider me a successful artist, but it's always like this.
Right.
Sometimes it's like this, and then you're just like, I don't know when I'm getting paid, so you got to just gap it. But it's like the goal is to be financially secure, like forever, so I can just make whatever I want.
Do you have a number? Like, what is financially secure to Blue?
I don't know,
because that's the crazy shit about finances. Like, I didn't have a number in my mind, so I didn't know what financially secure was to me. So all I knew, I was chasing this shadow. I didn't know, and when I got a big contract, there was always another mountain to climb, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm financially secure now because I understand finances a little bit, but also I live modestly and I know I can't buy everything. So like, my financial security comes from knowing that my family's taken care of and my kids' future is taken care of, right?
Yep.
And you can actually quantify that. There's a number. And I think that's people's biggest problem when they're trying to be successful, is they don't ever define what success means to them.
Yeah.
And you have to, before you set your goal, like, you have to define what does success mean.
Yeah.
Or else you're always chasing the end of the rainbow and you'll never fucking get there.
Right. Well, I got short term goals, and like, to me, I've got in the game. Cool.
Right.
I'm in here, but how do you grow it? How do I sell $1 million painting?
Right.
How do I sell $100,000 painting?
Right.
Like that's how I level it. Like, if I can get one off for 1 million, I've made it.
That's the goal.
I've made it.
Right, as long as you got a number, man.
Stacking everything between that is just.
I think. How many artists, when they're alive, sell paintings for $1 million?
Not that many.
Right. So like, more so like when you die, I feel like that's when painters get their payday, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
But which is dope though. So if you ever decide to have kids, I don't know how you feel about kids, but if you ever decide to have kids, they can be responsible for your estate, and that will take care of them forever.
Yeah, I'm gonna be grumpy though if people wait till I die to
Give me my flowers now.
Yo, come on, man.
So what's the future look like? What kind of things do you have on the horizon?
Trying to just become more consistency. Like I haven't had a real manager, like pretty much ever. So I'm trying to get a little better with the unfun stuff, the stuff that I have to do, and just
like booking shit.
Yeah, and like talking to people about money. Like I still talk to people about how much my paintings cost, which is like, oh, I never had money. I always go lower,
All right. We had that conversation the first time, and you were like real hesitant.
Yeah, because
it would be weird because, like, I mean, you're basically placing a value on yourself where you're always going to think your value is higher. But that's, to me, that's the beauty of business. Is like, let's negotiate. It is what it is. I think when you I don't know how you look at it now, but like when you look at it, it's a business acquisition. So you just have to be firm. This is my price. It is what it is.
But people are like, it's just different though.
No, I hear you. I mean, I'm talking from, I've never sold a painting.
When your back's against the wall,
right,
then what are you going to do? You're going to say, oh, my painting costs 5 bands. And they say, okay, well, I'll give you 2.5 for it. And you're like, fuck, man.
Right.
The rent's coming up. What are you going to do? You're going to say, nah, price is this.
Right.
And it's amazing how like people are scared to say a price. I always have to say a price.
Right.
Whenever I say what do you want to do? They're like, well, I don't want to undervalue your work. Okay, well, I'm about to overvalue my not that, but it's like, yeah, I'm about to tell you what I want. So
right.
Tell me what you really want to do, and then we'll see if we're even in the same realm. You know?
I mean that's negotiation. Do you feel like you've gotten slighted on that end before?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's.
Do you feel like you've gotten over as well though?
Yeah, sometimes, but it's hard to say that.
I don't want to say gotten over. That's terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, do you feel like
someone once I got an offer on a painting and it was like, oh, this is crazy. Like I had to bring it down some.
Why did you do that?
Because I didn't feel right taking that much money.
You're full of shit. Let me tell you why.
Because my other stuff.
No, I'm gonna change your mind. That's irrelevant. People always say athletes are overpaid. Athletes are overpaid. Whatever. Listen, bro. You are worth whatever anybody wants to pay you. Period. If somebody wants to pay you $1 million for a painting, that's what it's worth. You're setting your own market value. They're setting your market value. Never ever go down. Ever. This is my advice to you, bro.
I just feel like the painting, like I was used to painting like big pieces for that.
Right.
He's like, yeah, that's a big. Like you're giving me that much money. I think you want like a 6-footer or something. Right. They're like, oh, just a 30-40. I don't know. That was early me. I just felt like, man,
it's probably early you.
That's a lot for that like size.
That's the dangerous part.
Then am I going to ask everybody for that now? And you start asking everybody, and it's like, damn, people don't have bread like that.
Right. No, I understand, but I think that's what that's the dangerous part when two different realms merge, art and business.
Yeah.
And that's why usually artists aren't the best business people and business people aren't the best artists. It's two different worlds, but when they collide, you have to treat each individually. You can't be an artist when it comes to business.
Yeah.
Like you have to be firm. Like people
I need a shark, man. I need one of these shark dudes to go out and just.
So it's just not in your nature?
I mean, yeah, it's like I'm just like a nice painter dude. Yeah, I'm chilling. Like, man, even when for the commissions I've done for like big people, like not big people, but like, some crazy people, like I still don't like. And then the worst people to ask, like, worst people to give you advice are your friends, because they're like, ask for 50 bands. And you're like, bruh, they're just gonna be like, no, and not talk to me anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's that danger of losing clientele.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah, but the stuff that I say where I've done for like the low, like it's an investment.
That's 100% what it is. I was actually I had Snoop on my podcast, right? And he was giving out. He said when you used to sell crack, he's like, this is what you do. He's like, you give somebody some free, and then you give some more somebody free, and then you charge them, because then they end up liking the product. So like and it's a great business. It's a terrible analogy because it's crack. Yeah. Don't sell crack, but it's a great business. It's economics.
Yeah.
You keep people wanting more. You get them interested, and you keep people wanting more.
Yeah, my homie told me this story. He just read. I forgot forgot from who, but he was saying that like he was talking about this restaurant business, and they were like, the first time you come, they give you like a free piece of cake or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, the second time you come, you give them a discount, like a coupon for like the next time you come in, you'll get this for free.
Right.
And then he said the third time they come in, it's over.
Yeah,
like they
you
already
got
they committed to the spot. They give you reviews and all this.
That's
so
beautiful. Whoever that is, yeah.
man, I try to take little tidbits from all different from all realms, and music is the biggest one where I compare like. Yeah, the art game is like the music game.
It really is.
It's like,
It
okay,
really
you got one cool painting. Okay, that's just one song.
Right.
You know? Oh, you got a bunch of fire paintings. Okay, it's a good mixtape. You know?
Right,
You know?
right.
You do an art show and it's a banger, that's an album.
That's an
okay,
album.
you sell out, you got a classic album.
Right.
Okay, cool. All
Right.
right, what's next? And it's
Yeah.
like you only can be stuck. You can only be in a song that, like, you know, Kanye. Like, people want the old Kanye. And it's like, yeah, you can only do that for so long until you just want to, like, okay, I don't want to do no more mummy paintings. I'm
Right.
done with mummies. I'm doing.
Oh man, is that on the horizon?
I'm not phasing it out, but I'm trying to explore more because I came into the game doing mummy stuff, and I feel like, damn, that's all I've really done. You know, like what else can I? You know, like what else can I do?
I'm gonna put a picture of this one up, but people need to see this one. The first one, what was it the first one?
The Tupac was the first one.
Tupac was the first one. It was not that one. The black lady with
Yeah.
Oh my God, that shit is so beautiful, dog. And I've never said it. Was that an interpretation drawing? Like, did you see it somewhere else?
Yeah. I repurposed. Terry Legault is this French photographer.
Right.
He shot all the stuff from Belly. In DMX's house, and Tommy's house.
Yeah, that makes it even better for me.
So when you watch it, it'll show
you
that
should have told
one.
me that one. It's not gonna tell
Yeah.
people when they see it on my wall.
Yeah.
Because this is my living room.
Yeah.
It's in my living room.
So you'll see that one, and you'll see the one where the chick's like on her knees. She's like long, leaning back.
Right.
But yeah, those photos were crazy. And it's like, maybe I'm humbled because like I'm still like amazed at the stuff that I make. You know, like
That's awesome.
if that makes sense without like
Yeah.
gassing myself. But it's
No.
like when I did that painting, and there's a painting, the Boys in the Hood painting I did very early, like 2014, 2013. Like I painted them, and I was like, I can't believe I painted this.
Wow.
Like, you know, where it's like, I know how to work with paint, but I had never done stuff like that. So it's
Right.
like, when I finish it, I'm like, oh, like, this is crazy. You know?
You should 100% be in love with your art.
Yeah.
Like I make art. Like I make music, and I love listening to my music. It's not narcissistic. It's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
It's what you like to see. You
Yeah.
should 100% be in love with your shit.
Yeah.
Think about if you didn't. If you just painted, it's like there'd be no fulfillment in that.
Yeah, I feel like it's like that sometimes where you're just like,
Right. And still get it off.
I mean, it's cool because it's like an interpretation of you. It's like a piece of me that I'm giving people, or it's like straight out of the brain, you know, where it's like.
So you said something powerful. You said that what you're trying to do is take the image that you see in your head and put it onto a canvas. Like, how close are you to that?
That's what people do with. That's what I feel like painting is. Like, you got this idea. Cool, I want to do Batman with 4 arms and it's gonna be dark. It's gonna be clouds. I want the clouds to be purple.
Right.
It's like, okay, how like even like you, if you were to paint it, you know, you might not hit that percent that you want to hit.
It'd be around 2%. Fam, it's trash.
But like, yeah, I feel like now I'm at about like, I'm probably like 80% of just like translation. Like, yeah, I want to do stuff a little better. Like when I do women's faces, I want to get that a little tighter, you know?
Right.
So it's like, that doesn't always come out. But the cool thing for me with painting, and the reason why I think my paintings look different from other people's paintings, is that like, I'm not huge on the technical side.
Right.
It's like, I'd rather you paint me something that only you saw that maybe doesn't exist, you know, like as opposed to you painting me like a perfect chair. like, yo, that chair looks photorealistic.
Right.
But what is this thing over here? You know, like, oh, that's something that doesn't exist that only I saw, you know, like.
That's a beautiful way of putting that, though.
So I got that painting, the big painting I have, it's the one on the wall. It's not on the frame.
Right.
It's just like ideas. Like, I feel like that's what that is. It's like me showing you the inside of my brain,
The
you
thoughts.
know? Yeah, as opposed to me showing you like a nice portrait of a
So
woman.
what's if you have made it yet, like what would be a piece of yours where you're like, this is representative of like who I am? Like you look at that and you're like, yo, that hits me.
Let me think about. Oh man, there's two. It's one I have that I did maybe six months ago. It's this ghost. It's like he is like it's like a ghost, kind of like a Pac-Man ghost. Well, I guess it's just like a sheet over a dude with some eye cutouts or whatever.
Right.
So you see his feet, and it's like they're mummy feet. There's just like a mummy dude with a ghost thing on, with a sheet over him or whatever. He's like chunking a deuce, but he's standing still. He's like, peace. And everyone I drew all these people behind him, and usually I don't do intricate backgrounds just because I don't know, whatever.
Right.
I did all these people behind him. They're all walking the other way, and he's just standing still, like chilling. And in the photo, in the piece, I included the child version of me. The ghost dude kind of represents like, just where I was at that time, and then like not an older version of me, but kind of a photographer version. So a version of me just capturing it all, like kind of hidden in the back. But that photo I feel like it carries a lot. And there's this other painting I did when I was on like just crazy trip.
What is a crazy trip?
Psychedelics and shit.
What were you on?
LSD.
Oh, okay. We're gonna talk about that, but go ahead.
Where it's not promoting it or
no.
Not promoting it or not promoting
not promoting it.
But I painted this photo from and it was just a random thought which are sometimes the best paintings. I was just randomly thinking about that Will Smith scene where he had in Fresh Prince when he had on the green ballerina joint with the flower and the sun and the shades.
Right.
And I drew like that version of me, and it's just perfect. It's just like a good, fun painting. And I feel like it's just like sometimes I paint very dark. Not dark, but very like moody things.
Right. Emo.
Yeah, they feel heavy sometimes.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I just want to stunt. I just want to I just want to do something playful and like chill.
Yeah.
So
I mean that's just beautiful about art in general. And like like how I convey my shit is the same thing. So like if you listen to my music, some of it's emotional, some of it's stunting, but that's how I convey it. I could only imagine me conveying it in a still frame photo to where like people can like hop inside of my brain. Cause like if you look at, I guess all art is interpretation, but if you look at, if you listen to a verse, you're gonna feel any kind of way about it, bringing your life experience. I guess it's like that with painting too. But like when I look at your painting, I get to like see how you view the world, and that to me, that's what's so beautiful about art. I like painting in general. I love, that's why I love your fucking work. It's my shit.
I appreciate it.
No, for sure. You are you a fan of Bob Ross?
Yeah, huge fan.
That guy is everything.
Yeah, he's insane, and it's first off, it's very comforting to watch. Like it's just like maximum chill.
Right.
Like I'm trying to recreate that low key in a way where it's like not a mockery, just on some real, actually like
admiration.
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah. But that
Bob Ross is
a god. There's other painting I did, and I Bob Ross swagged it because there's a painting I did, and I did Isaiah Rashad's cover, and it was tight because
I was gonna bring that up, but Isaiah, I'm gonna let you finish. Isaiah Rashad is one of my favorite rappers out right now. I love dog. He's one of the most talented cats. And when I found out you did his album cover, Son's Tirade.
Yep.
I fucking was so excited for you and for him because that shit was like these two people who were separate in my life. They got together and they made magic. That shit is amazing.
That shit is tight.
But go ahead.
Got super lucky. I didn't get lucky. Dave looked out for me, and I've known Dave for forever.
Who's Dave?
From TD. He's the president of TD. Dave Free.
Gotcha.
So. Yeah, I was like, yeah, man, I've been a fan of this dude. He's from the South, I feel it, like, and he threw the oop. He was like, yeah, if you want to cook. And then Isaiah was a fan of me, of my work. So he's like, yeah, I got these ideas. Gave me very loose ideas and let me cook.
Right.
But there's this painting I did that I was going to give them this idea and end up just like, cool, they like the first one. I'm going to just keep this one for myself.
Right.
And I ended up painting it, and there's this dude laying on a car. He's laying on a Cadillac, and the Cadillac's like overlooking like a cliff. Mm-hmm. His car is parked on a cliff, and it's overlooking like the ocean or like water. It's all done in like these purple shades, and it's a sunset. Dude's just like hella content, just chilling.
Right.
But I did these splashes, like the waves hitting the rocks, and it's straight Bob Ross. Like I just like channeled them, and I was making little sounds when I was just. So I feel like it was helping the
Over the
flow,
waves.
yeah. But yeah,
I'm gonna put that shit up there on the screen too, so people can see that shit. That is awesome, man. Bob Ross is he said, I'm a butcher, so I didn't even attempt, but it was talking about race relations on ESPN one time, and I found a Bob Ross clip when he said something to the extent of like how beautifully black and white have to work together, and it was just like, it was so deep. I don't even know if he meant it to be that deep, but it was beautifully put, man. I want to talk about your LSD trip, man. You don't have to advocate psychedelics, but I think psychedelics they're fundamental to the progression of humans.
I'd agree.
Because if you talk, and I'll take that back. I did mushrooms when I was real little, like 13 years old.
Yeah.
I was not a good kid. But I think that set me up to see the world in a different way. And everybody you talk to, not everybody, but the majority of people that you talk to that do psychedelics have this experience where they feel this oneness with this place that we're living in, this universe. What was your experience like on LSD? How much did you take?
It was insane. It was insane. I was in the Bay, and I was there's this girl I met on this boat trip. Man, I'm living
the Bay is Northern California for people that don't know.
Yeah, I was in San Francisco. I'm telling these real art stories. I met this girl on this boat. She was super cool. I happened to be in the Bay. She was like, "Yo, what's up? Let's link." We linked. She's like, "Yo, I have some you to try." I was like, "Yeah."
And you never
done it, but I was always interested.
Right.
And I didn't do anything when I was younger. I'm 30. I didn't do nothing until I didn't drink.
No weed?
No, I didn't drink till I was maybe 21.
Wow.
And I didn't smoke till I was like 23, something like that. I was playing sport. I just wasn't in all that. I was just chilling,
I was definitely into all that.
Well, I was maximum chilling. So she's like, "Yeah, I got some. You want to do it?" I was like, yeah, whatever. Let's try it. Let's run it. And it was super euphoric with a little bit of, at the beginning, you're just dumb nervous. So it's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's very...
Because you don't know what to expect.
Yeah, like, it's very... you're just aware of, like, everything. Like, at the same time, it's insane. It's, like, kind of sensory overload, but until you get to that, like, chill. It's like, I feel like it's like climbing a mountain.
Right.
And then staying on top of the mountain for however many hours, and it's like a low chill. But every time, I don't like paint on it or anything. Like, I'm not one of the people like, yeah, I got to do it to paint.
You've never painted on LSD?
Yeah, that time.
Okay.
And probably just that one time.
Right.
But it's max chill. Last time I did it in Miami, and it was insane.
So what kind of experiences did you draw from it? I
think it just makes me more loose. I'm like, I'm already pretty chill, but I was just like maximum chill.
So
I just let my brain kind of go. Like, even when I was doing a painting, like I could have tried to paint something deep or magical or mystical, but I was like, nah, let's just keep it loose, like, and see what comes out. And and it's like it's just a different perspective. Like, it definitely changes your perspective on like how you are at that moment.
How did it change your perspective? Like, did it change your perspective like entirely? So like when you come down, you're like, you know what? I didn't think like this previously, but now that I saw this kind of other side, I think like this now.
No, I think it just like opens me up for a little while. Like, it like it like forces me to like think completely different. Like, my process is just like kind of scrambled up now. It's like, okay, instead of doing this like how you would normally do it, I'm just like, I don't know. Here's my weird LSD fact.
Yeah, no, give me that.
Or thing. How it makes me feel. If I go outside, like I went to the beach once, we're tripping. This is the weirdest thing to tell people. It makes you feel like I feel like the world, like I felt like I could see the world was round.
Really?
Yeah. That makes no sense, but I felt like, okay, it's like I can see. I think that's just the thing when you're at the beach, though. You can see like
the globe,
the curvature.
Right.
Maybe. Like, I don't know.
Flat
I just felt like okay,
bullshit.
yeah, we're in this motherfucker. Like,
right.
It makes no sense.
No, it does.
Another weird thing is that like I always feel like if I go outside and I can feel the humidity. Like if I do this,
see, that's what's interesting to me. That's what's interesting to me about psychedelics is because when I did it, I did mushrooms, and I took them at school. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. But I remember walking outside from class. Like, first, I was inside of class, not paying any attention to what the teacher said. The blinds were fucking waving. It was crazy. But then I go outside, and I felt like this supreme... You know how people get deja vu?
Yeah.
I felt like this. It's that deja vu feeling of... this is supposed to be, right? So I'm just looking at it was a blue sky and it was so vivid. Everything was vibrant and you just feel this connectivity with the sky.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at the sky like, this is supposed to be. I'm supposed to be. And I'm not religious or spiritual by any sense of the stretch of the imagination, but it's the closest I've ever felt to what religious people talk about when they say, I've been touched by God or whatever. Like, I think maybe they interpret that feeling as that. I'm unsure, but it was this like this oneness that I really can't even explain.
Yeah, it's such a weird feeling, like, you know, where it's like, the first time I ever did, I'm at Golden Gate Bridge, it's like misty and stuff. I had this yellow rain jacket on. This is the trippiest shit I can tell people. When I touch my jacket, I can see the condensation or whatever, precipitate, whatever we're calling this.
Right.
I can see the little droplets on my jacket. I'm touching my jacket. I'm doing this and it feels dry. And it was tripping me out. You know, I was touching this wet rail and I went, interesting. And that's why I was like, yeah, I'm really tripping right now. But interesting. This is something I was going to ask you. When did you know you weren't religious?
When did I know I wasn't religious?
I'm not religious either.
Yeah, no, I don't mind answering these questions at all. I think I knew I wasn't religious. When you mean religious, do you mean the institution of religion?
I mean that when I was a kid, I used to try to convince myself that God was real. And we'd go to church and stuff. And, you know, for a minute, I never really believed, but I always wanted to. And then there was a certain point where I was like,
So you're an atheist?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn, I didn't know that. But I think when I was a kid, I grew up super broke and just in a chaotic household. And I remember praying, and I remember thinking, like, I heard people say you have to keep talking to him and he'll talk back. So as a kid, I interpreted that literally, right? It's like, well, he's not talking to me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. And then after a while, I was like, well, if I'm doing something wrong, it's maybe it's me and maybe he's mad at me. And these are kid thoughts. And then as I grow, people start telling you, oh, he talks in other ways. He talks through this, talks through that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So if something good happened in my life, I was like, okay, well, that's God, you know, telling me. And if something bad happens, well, it's like, well, I have to fix something in my life. But as I'm maneuvering through life as an adult, I'm like, so good shit happens is God. Bad shit happens is either me or the devil. And I'm like, if this isn't the extreme case of confirmation bias ever, I wouldn't know one. So whatever, I'm attributing all the good stuff to him and all the bad stuff to him, but indirectly through this other medium. And it just got to the point where I was like, I can no longer intellectually defend this position of me thinking that there's somebody up there pulling strings or not pulling strings or anybody at all without sounding completely full of shit. Like, I don't like sounding full of shit. I like all of my thoughts and beliefs well thought out. And something that if we're sitting down, it's like, why do you believe Black Lives Matter is not a terrorist organization? I can sit here and intellectually defend that position without feeling like I'm compromising anything. I really feel like that. But when it came to God, I was like, I can't defend this. Because I used to have these negative thoughts towards atheists, devil worshippers, stuff like that. I used to have those too. But when somebody would ask you, why do you believe in God? And I couldn't, other than you just have to believe, that was no longer sufficient for me. Yeah. And I didn't like taking that position.
For sure. I just got weird. I just started thinking too much, and I was just like, yo, what is this? And then I feel like all these old people are just trying to scare me. I said, yo, why is this? What? I gotta burn forever?
Yeah.
I said, I'm not. What for what?
And so the moral aspect of it was always confusing.
And I feel like why is it so catered to like man? If this dude's not I don't know. It was just like a lot of things for me, and I just like, man, I don't know.
That fear aspect is I feel like how they keep people, when I say they, the boogeyman, but I feel like how religious institutions keep people hooked on their drug, right? Is they set it up for this guy or entity to never take an L. He cannot lose. It doesn't matter how because they justify and they pivot everything to where, you can pick it up, it's fine. They justify and pivot everything to where he can't lose. Yeah. And I'm like, this universe is not built like that from what we know, right? And all we can go off is what we know. Any other conjecture is just that, a conjecture. But if something good happens, it's him, and something bad happens, it has to be him.
Yeah.
So either he's a dick and he allows babies to get killed, he allows little girls and boys to get raped, he allows tsunamis to drown people, he now allows people to get burned in fires, but he also allows happiness and he allows this and that. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. Either he is responsible for everything, or he's not responsible for anything. There's no middle ground for me. And they're like, oh, well, that's the devil. And I'm like, dog, he created that shit too.
Yeah, I view humans as a whole different setup, you know? Like, I think we're animals, man. Like,
no, we are.
I'm like, you guys are straying a lot from, like, you know, everybody has all these, we want to dress it up. But it's like, yeah, people do this wild shit all the time. And it's programmed. It's like, it literally, people are fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like our nature to, like, destroy shit and kill shit, and it's like, I don't know, like if I walk up and just smack the shit out of somebody, like I made myself do that, you know, like I can't blame it on, I don't know, it's like a whole thing, and I just,
no, you're right. I think
and it's like a location thing too, where it's like, damn, that's when I was young, I used to really think that. I was like, damn, if I was born in China, I wouldn't believe none of this shit. Does that mean I'm about to die? I'm about to burn forever? And I was like, man, this is, I think there's a lot of flaws in this.
I think that's super.
Theory.
It's 100%. And that's the problem. There's so many flaws, and that's why I couldn't intellectually defend it anymore. But I think that's a beautiful. I don't know if it's a gift or whatever, but the way you view the world, excuse me, at such a young age, was saying, if I was born here, would I have the same belief system that I do in China, in India, in Africa, in Afghanistan? No, you wouldn't. And if you did, you'd be an outlier, and that's fucking rare. Outliers are rare. So like. Think to your point, as far as like we're programmed, it like there's a reason why we act the way we act, and it can be studied in psychology and our evolutionary biology. It's a real thing. There's a reason why you're afraid of the dark, because in dark caves, evolutionarily, it did not make sense for us to go into dark caves because there could be a predator in there. We could have died, right? So our ancestors have programmed in our DNA shit that they've been afraid of for thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. Yeah. You're 100% right. We're programmed. And I think even the notion that there is a God is programmed into us. I mean, think about it. The sun, right? So you're this thing walking around on Earth, don't really speak no languages, and you're just a caveman. And this sun, every single day, it's this cycle. It comes up and it gives warmth. It eventually helps you build a fire. Yeah. It you don't know it at the time, but it makes the trees, it makes the grass. But it's this thing that it's vibrant, it's bright, right? So you think that there's something other that's greater than you. It's been in our DNA since I think the dawn of what men has been. Yeah.
I saw this the other day I was driving to jiu-jitsu, man. I'm just in the El Camino pushing the jiu-jitsu down Wilshire, and I see a damn UFO, man.
Come on, Blue.
And it was motherfucking
the SpaceX.
Yeah, dog. And I could have. They didn't send an email out. They didn't say, yo, man, if you're around this time, you might see some crazy shit.
Right.
I'm just driving and I see that, and boy, I'm telling you, it was if I didn't get if I didn't have the internet or whatever, I 100% thought it was alien.
Right.
Especially after the little thing comes out that the government was funding UFO research or whatever.
Right.
It was like the same week. You know?
He was like, this is bullshit.
Feeling woke. I'm driving down. Like, yeah, I'm informed, and I said, oh, it's really aliens. And if you get on Instagram, I'm over there. I'm going crazy, just recording this thing. Like, yo, man, I don't know if I should go to class. Maybe I should.
I kick it.
I didn't even know where to go. You know, in the movies where like the world ends, like the guy driving a limo is like, they know where to go. I was just like,
so you thought that was it?
I'm like, yo, should I take shelter somewhere? Or
Right.
I guess I'm gonna just go to class.
That's crazy. I guess that because when that SpaceX shit happened, I'm super into science, so I knew what it was and what was happening. So I was expecting it. So people hit my phone like, "Yo, did you see this shit in the sky?" And I'm looking all over Twitter. I'm like, "God damn!" Like, yo,
yeah, I was shook. I was shaking in class. I was like, literally, I was shook. I can't even act like it wasn't. It was incredible.
How much does that shit affect your art, man? As far as like your social awareness. Because I don't see you doing too many political pieces or stuff that you like believe in. Because I didn't even know you were atheist. I'm surprised I haven't seen a painting about that.
It's in there. It's sprinkled in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna commission you. I want you to do an atheist piece for me, man.
It's sprinkled in for sure. Like there's some pieces where I play with the idea of religion, but it's very loose. Like I did this on my art show, the flyer. Well, like this print I did is like this mummy, his head wrapped, and he has a hood on. Some people think it's Trayvon Martin. It's not Trayvon Martin,
right?
But it's a mummy, he's fully mummied, and he's got black. Like it's just his face is black. I don't even think you can see the eyes. You can just see the eyelash, and he has a halo, and the halo is it's like tied.
Okay, yeah.
Like fish wire or whatever.
Right,
so there's like 3 ties on it, and then there's like an apple like battery like lights.
Yeah.
Like there's there's like 4 dots, and then like 3 of the dots are green and one's red. So like like 1 bar is low or whatever. But
right.
I play with the idea loosely. I'm not one to push. I don't care what people believe in. I don't really care what other people think. I'm on Twitter, and I hate Twitter, man. Like it's like one of those things where the more I'm on it, the more I hate it. Just because damn, I really didn't subscribe to hear all these fucking opinions from like people with dumbass opinions,
right.
In my personal opinion,
right,
just
like, and that's an opinion.
I was like, yeah, and then you get on there and they're talking about just like, man, we had this debate the other day in the group chat where it's like, we get on there and they're talking about like Janae Aiko, and I'm like, yo, I don't care to be disinformed about like other people that I'm not.
Yeah, there's definitely a gossip element to it.
Yeah.
And see, I feel like there's 2 kind of people in this world, really. Well, 3. One of those kind of people are on Facebook, and I don't really deal with those people.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like you're either like a Twitter person or an Instagram person. Just what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of the goddamn word right now. But like, ideologically, you're either a Twitter person or an Instagram person, and I'm a Twitter person. And the reason why I'm a Twitter person is because I like the battle of ideas, and I love conversing with people and challenging those ideas, and me challenging my ideas. I've learned a lot from Twitter. Like people, I was like, because I used to say, I was like, yo, we're all just stupid on here because we're never going to change each other's opinions. It's just a whole bunch of people yelling at each other. But then not so much longer, my opinion was changed about something, and I'll tell you what it was. It has to have to do with art. So like, I used to tell my daughter who was drawing, I used to tell her, she's like, this is a fish. And I was like, well, that's not what fish look like, sweetie. Like, here, I show her pictures of fish. Like, this is what fish look like. And some dude hit me on there. He's like, you should never tell your daughter what a fish should or shouldn't look like. Like, you're curving her imagination.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my fucking God.
No, I fuck with that.
That is amazing. And I learned that shit from Twitter, and I ended up following that cat. And like, we're actually good friends. We connected. He's actually from LA. So from that, I was like, yo, if I look at Twitter or social media in general as in my opinions as objective, I mean as arbitrary, but they're loose. I can learn. Just be open and humble about how you feel. You can learn, and I have, and that was a beautiful lesson to learn. Because now when she draws, I let her do her thing, and coming like you're an artist, so you can appreciate that, and that's why I love Twitter. It's a battle of ideas. And if you're not really into the debates, I don't think like Twitter is for you.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're more of an Instagram person, where that's just kind of like an observation of the world around us, and you're viewing the world through their lens, but it's not a monologue. I mean, it's not a dialogue; it's a monologue, and they're kind of just telling you how they see the world.
Yeah, that's crazy. What the dude said. I'm a believer in that too, because when people like teach me how to draw, I'm like, I can show you how to do stuff, but I can't tell you how to hold a pencil. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your thing.
Which is deep in itself. I remember you came to Houston one time, and because my girl, she paints. She's really fucking talented, actually. and she was a super fan of you as well. And you came over, and to this day she uses the techniques that you taught her. So she's like all grateful. Like she sent me all kind of questions to ask you and stuff. I told her you were on a podcast.
That's tight.
But yeah, no, I think that your brand of art has reached so many people, and I can only imagine. Like I was famous for football, and your art has reached so many people across this country, and maybe globally too. You probably have fans everywhere, and to me, that's much more gratifying than somebody liking what you do. They like how you do it. They like who you are. Your art is a reflection of you. And I put this tweet out a while ago that said the vindication or the love that I'm receiving for this podcast feels way better than anybody ever saying, I love how you play football. Granted, I'm very grateful for how people saw me play the game that I gave my life to for so long. But for people to sit down, take an hour out of their busy day and to listen to how I think about the world, how other people view the world, and they appreciate that conversation, they appreciate that dialogue. It's one of the most gratifying things I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
100%. And you feel that on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's kind of weird though.
Talk to me.
Man, so I can only imagine like your shit. I mean, even if I get on Instagram, I mean, I remember like you're the first person who bought a painting for me. I also know Martellus Bennett. He's the homie from Texas and shit. And like, man, I've been like, every time I get on Instagram and I see one of y'all posts, and it's just like hella fans, just NFL fans.
Right.
And it's just like, you post like a picture of like you eating like a burger. And
Right.
you're just like, yo, man, focus on the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo,
yeah.
So sometimes it's, not that it's like that, but like, it's kind of weird for like people to just come up to me and start talking about art. And
Right.
like,
because you don't know them.
yeah, I mean, it's just like
You're famous,
first,
man.
it's cool. It's cool. Like we could chop it up, but like
Right.
I couldn't imagine being at like the level that like people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So at least what you're known for is something you love doing. Like,
yeah,
like I love playing football, but I don't love talking about football.
Yeah.
Right. Like you come up to me and it's like, hey man, I really like how you run, and you're just like, I don't care. I just didn't care like that. But like if somebody comes up, I'm pretty sure there are some weirdos that come up to you or whatever.
We gotta have an art. I gotta tell them my whole story.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm drunk right now. Man, I'm just trying to.
No, exactly. But then you have somebody that comes up and says like yo, like what you like. I saw one of your paintings and that shit touched me. It changed me. Like whatever that case may be. That shit is so gratifying.
Yeah.
That shit is beyond. It's like that Andre 3000 line where he said, somebody came up to him and said, "Yo, track number 9 changed my life." Like that's why you
The
do
Devin
it.
the Dude song. What a job.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have to recheck
They
that
said,
shit. I haven't heard that shit in years.
I know the whole shit. Your CD number 9.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
That
yeah.
they used to make love to me in college. Yeah, that joint's a banger.
Yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna have to double back on that shit. I thought it was a 3-stack song.
Yeah, he's on it. It's him.
No, I thought it was his song.
Oh,
Right,
right.
It's Devin the Dudes. So I have to double back.
That shit's crazy. Like, I'm telling you that, like, the last thing I thought I would be in life is an artist. You know, I thought I'd be a creative director or like,
Right.
you know, a graphic design or like making clothes or something.
Right.
But the last thing I thought I'd be doing would be selling paintings, which
Right.
is maybe the hardest thing to do in the world, because no one needs a painting.
It's 100%.
No one needs it. Like if it was, when I look back, I'm like, man, I should just like made socks, plain white socks, just
Everybody
the
needs
best sock you could get. You know, like selling a painting is like convincing someone like you're selling them an idea. You know, like
Yeah.
because the materials don't cost $1,000. You know, the paint doesn't cost $1,000. Like it might take me 2 days to make it.
Right.
Like, but I don't know. Like it's amazing that people even like, you know, ask me this stuff. Yo, you made it. Yo, how do you? People ask me for advice,
Right.
which I can't give you any advice. You know, like in reality, it's like you probably have no chance. You probably have zero chance in the world of making it as a painter.
That's
you know?
hilarious.
Like, I don't know. Like so many things have to go the right way. It's like
Right.
someone saying, "Yo, I want to be Kim Kardashian."
Right.
There's no steps to that. There's
Right.
no handbook for her like career. It was like a lot of random things had to happen and work,
And it did.
and it did, you know. So like
Yeah.
to be a painter, the best advice I have is like don't listen to people. Like Just
Even me.
make your rules, man. Just
Right,
and commit. Like that's the only thing you can commit.
I think that's the best advice you give people.
Actually commit,
Yeah,
not
commit.
fake commit, not tweet about committing, tweeting about being in the studio. Like make a lot of paintings. This one dude said your first 10,000. He said your first 10,000 drawings are ugly. They're terrible. And I was like, damn. Like
I'm still on 200.
Do I have 10,000? Like you
Right.
should be constantly like making stuff like every day, or at least doing something that enhances your skills. So like when I do photography, it's another thing that enhances my painting because I'm looking at light source, I'm looking at composition, I'm looking at when the light is coming from over here, light, shadow, like I know where shadows should be. It's like when you commit, you're not just like thinking about doing the shit. You're like actually like doing the shit all
Right.
the time.
I think I don't believe in God, but Quincy Jones had a fucking brilliant quote in that article that he said. Article he did that tell-all article. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
And he
Dropping the
said
bombs on everybody.
yeah, everybody. Nigga was, but he had this quote that said, "When you talk about money, God leaves the room." I didn't interpret that as like God. I think it, like the essence of why you do what you do leaves the room. So like you didn't become an artist to make money.
Yeah.
You want to make money from your art, but your focus was I want to express myself and I want to be the greatest version of myself that I can. And I think people sometimes say like I love doing art, but I want to make money from art, and they start with that premise rather than focusing on themselves. And that's why I think what your success isn't an accident, because you took logical steps. You took steps that successful people either take for granted or they don't know that they're taking those steps, but it is a blueprint. Like you said, I don't have any advice for you, but that is the advice. The advice is one, love what you do, fall in love with what you do, but then be a student of what you do. Like you constantly are perfecting your craft. That is exactly what anybody doing anything that wants to be successful should do. Fall in and be dedicated. You said commit, really commit. Like don't say you're painting when you're not painting. Like if you want to be a painter, be a painter. And it's like one of my buddies is a musician, and we create. He helped produce a lot of the content on my album, and I was like, yo, so we're finishing, we're mastering it now, and he goes, I hit him. I was like, yo, can you give me some more production? Are you done? He's like, oh no, fuck no, man, I'm a lifer. So like he'll be playing gigs, whether he's successful or not, in coffee shops, because that's what he loves to do. He's in it. But that's what you have to be. You have to be so in love with your craft to where you're like, if this works out, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be playing the violin while the Titanic goes down.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I just saw two painters do, paintings for Brock and Michelle. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what do you want to be?
Right.
Do you want to be a guy who paints at Adidas events? You want to be that artist? Do you want to be a guy who does murals? Do you want to be $1 million painter? Do you want to be a $500,000 painter? Do you want to be a dude who just does shit in people's backyard? Like, It's like, okay, whatever you want to be, you have to actually work towards that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
it's simple, but it's not simple.
yeah, I mean, but people talk it. People talk it heavy, and now with Instagram, it is harder with Instagram now because everyone's selling you this
Saturated market
story. And I'm really out here getting it. It's like, okay, what's real, what's not now? But it's an interesting time to be in. I'm like excited that art is even like booming again. Like people care. People used to not care. A lot of people.
100%.
It's just back like. You got Jay-Z talking about it. You got Swiss Beats talking about it. Like people are copping paintings, like just tight, and
it's great for your brand. It's kind of like poetry, right?
Yeah,
poetry's dead. And people used to think like art like was like that too.
Yeah,
but like you're right. The boom of social media has created an entire lane for artists.
Yeah, I
don't think it's gonna come back for poets though. I think that shit is.
I think you gotta be a rapper.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think poets now are rappers or some kind of music. Something has to do with music because nobody's. Like spoken word just isn't cracking like that. Nobody's really looking for that.
Like how not even like I don't want to look at it like that. But how do you get paid from it?
Being a poet?
Yeah.
It's
I guess sell books or
it's
something.
It's like a writer, yeah. You just have to be a writer, and I think you have to. I don't know. I can pretend like I have the answer for a poet. I have no idea because I write poetry, but I do it for me. I'm not out selling books. I don't even know if I could sell a book, but niggas don't read poetry like that anymore.
Yeah, it's hard,
bro. I appreciate you, man, taking out your time. on a day where you could be harnessing your craft. But this has been a great conversation, man. And I hope people out there that are listening go check you out. And it's at Blue the Great.
Yep, Blue the Great.
Instagram, Twitter.
Website's bluethegreat.com.
Bluethegreat.com.
Yeah.
We'll put it up a graphic because I want people to come visit you because I think you're important. I love your work, dog, and you have definitely made your mark in my life. You have a whole bunch of paintings in my house, and I'm gonna continue to buy from you. And when you're dead, I'm gonna sell them.
No, for sure.
But no, man, much love, man. So I don't know if you've ever listened to the podcast, but at the end of every podcast, we end it the same, and we try to get Jim Carrey on. Every guest tries to get Jim Carrey. Yeah, that's my guy. So if you could look at the cameraman and try to convince Jim to come on the podcast.
Dang, Jim, man, you got to pull up, man. I've been a big fan since The Mask. Dang, I watched that movie so many times. Yo, let's do a painting, man. Come on, come through. Let's talk about some life.
Much love, man. I appreciate you, man. But everybody at Blue the Great, Bryan Blue, my brother. Yeah, we're friends, man. So we'll keep being friends.
Sure, appreciate it.
Much love, man.